Hey there, thanks for tuning in. I'm Chris the Drone Geek. I wanted to pop in here real quick before the Season 2 premiere of Sky High History to let you know what's going on with Sky High History and what you can expect moving forward. So first off, we have new branding. I hope you like it. And second, we have a new schedule for Sky High History as it relates to shooting, production, and publication. So in 2020, I shot the last episode of Sky High History in mid to late fall, and I published it to YouTube. Had I known that that was going to be the last episode of Sky High History for the season or the year, I would have made a much bigger deal out of it and I would have talked about it a little bit in the actual video. But at the time, I didn't realize that it was the last episode of Sky High History that I was going to be doing for the year. So moving forward, to make sure that we have a definitive beginning and end to each season or each year of Sky High History, I am going to define a shooting schedule for this program. So moving forward from April to October, I will be shooting, producing, and publishing episodes of Sky High History. The reason for this is twofold. First of all, if you live in an area like Pennsylvania that has a seasonal climate, meaning we have a defined spring, summer, fall, and winter, you know that anywhere between late fall and early spring, it's not real pretty outside, and especially not with drone footage because it's just brown and barren and dingy, and unless there's a significant amount of snow on the ground, and usually it has to be pretty fresh, it's just nothing really fun to look at. So for that reason, I'm going to avoid shooting Sky High History content in that period. I may do other pieces of content like how-tos and flight tutorials and reviews, but for the most part, when it comes to really making something look appealing to the eye, I'm going to avoid that time period. The second reason is, as much of a history buff as I am, I really enjoy learning about the past and what brings us to the world that we live in today. I do need a break from time to time. History can be grueling to go over sometimes, reading all of the information, making sense of it, and I get burnt out towards the end of the year. As much as I love Sky High History and doing it and learning more about history itself, I just need a break every once in a while, and I figured if it's not nice out to shoot, might as well take that opportunity to recharge my batteries and refocus on the content I want to shoot in the upcoming year. I hope that's understandable to you, and I'm sure it is, but that's the schedule we're going to be operating on moving forward. One last thing, I am going to be selling calendars at the end of this year. The calendar will cover the year 2022, so make sure you keep an eye on my social media platforms. I don't have all the logistics figured out, all the details figured out, but I will keep you up to date as I learn more and as I learn what the time frame is going to be for the production of these calendars and when they'll be available for sale. So keep that in mind. 2022 calendars available for purchase from the Drone Geek and Drone Geek Productions at dronegeekproductions.com coming very, very soon. We're gonna have two versions. I do know this much, one for Lancaster County and one for the world around us with shots from everywhere I've ever traveled with my drone. So make sure you keep an eye on that, dronegeekproductions.com. All right, enough rambling for me. Let's get into the Season 2 premiere of Sky High History. Enjoy. Hey there, and welcome to the Season 2 premiere of Sky High History. This episode will be taking a look into the history of Freemasonry in Lancaster County. Freemasonry is very important to the history of our country and important to me as I myself am a Freemason. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. The history of Freemasonry is formally around 305 years old, dating back to about 1717 when the first Grand Lodge was founded in England. However, the actual age of the fraternal organization and the values on which it operates are much older, with evidence showing references to Freemasonry dating back to the year 924. Even still, it is unknown exactly how old the practice is, with many historians claiming it has roots that predate ancient Rome. Some notable Freemasons that you might be familiar with include, but are not limited to, George Washington, James Madison, Andrew Jackson, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Don Rickles, John Wayne, Richard Pryor, Sugar Ray Robinson, Buzz Aldrin, Arnold Palmer, Simon Cowell, and Shaquille O'Neal, just to name a few. But the list goes on and on. This video is sticking to Lancaster County though, so let's refocus. Masonic activity in Lancaster County dates back to 1734 when James Hamilton planned out the town of Lancaster. Hamilton started as a Mason in St. John's Lodge No. 1 in Philadelphia. It was during this same time period that Benjamin Franklin, who was also a Freemason, was ordered to send copies of the Constitutions to John Catherwood and John Reynolds, both locals of Lancaster County, for use in establishing their own Masonic lodges. The first lodge of Lancaster County was Lodge No. 9, which was constituted and warranted between 1766 and 1768. The lodge was comprised of American patriots of the Revolutionary War whose identities remained speculative due to a loss of records after surrender of the lodge's warrant in 1779. One confirmed member of Lodge No. 9 was Captain Stephen Chambers, an attorney in Lancaster. Captain Chambers would become a charter member for Lancaster City's next lodge, Lodge No. 43, and serve as its worshipful master shortly after it became official in the eyes of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. In 1785, Lodge No. 43 was constituted and warranted as an official Masonic lodge in Lancaster City. A year later, the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania became independent of the English Grand Lodges. In 1798, Lodge No. 43 struck a deal with the borough of Lancaster to build a lodge hall over the public market along West King Street just across from Market Square. This building now houses the Lancaster City Visitor Center. During the same time construction was taking place for the lodge hall, the state government of Pennsylvania moved to Lancaster City. As a result, numerous political leaders for Pennsylvania became Freemasons or attended meetings at Lodge No. 43 from 1799 to 1812, including John Bannister Gibson, who would serve as Chief Justice of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court from 1838 to 1851. Other influential people to become Freemasons at Lodge No. 43 include George Porter, member of the Pennsylvania State House of Representatives, Moulton Rogers, Justice on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Dr. James Pyle Wickersham, former president of Millersville State Normal School, and James Buchanan Jr., former president of the United States. While Lodge No. 43 is the largest and earliest constituted lodge, Lancaster County currently has 10 active lodges, all of which you have seen throughout the duration of this video. The second oldest lodge in the county is Washington Lodge No. 156 in Quarryville, while the youngest lodge is Abraham C. Treichler Lodge No. 682 in Elizabethtown. And speaking of which, Lancaster County also features one of 5 Masonic villages in the state of Pennsylvania. The Masonic Village at Elizabethtown, while not exclusive to retired Freemasons and their immediate families, sets out to provide its residents the highest quality of life through the traditions of Freemasonry. This, combined with the rich history of Freemasons and Freemasonry in Lancaster County, go to show just how crucial the oldest active fraternity in the world was to shaping the community into what it is today. If you live, work, or have visited somewhere in Lancaster County, chances are you've come into contact with something a Freemason has helped to build, both figuratively and perhaps quite literally. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like down below, and if you love Sky High History, consider subscribing to my channel. It's the best way to show your support for me, and even better, it's totally free to you. Don't be a stranger, tune in next time for more history from an eye in the sky.